Boom. We are here. I think we're here.
It said that the broadcast is live. I'm going to go ahead and choose to believe that.
Well,
I would like everybody. Oh, good. She sat up. This
uh-oh.
pile of fury over here. It's Boomer.
Hi,
She's a pretty
Boomer.
girl. Hi. She's still mad at me because I fell asleep on the couch last night and I wasn't in here. And she's like giving me the silent treatment like an angry wife. So it's a good time. She was
Angry
very
wife.
much like, because I came up when I finally came upstairs, she was just on the bed like, and where have you been? I have been waiting up all night and I was worried, but now I'm just pissed. Like, I was downstairs. You come down. Oh God.
Well, Steph, are you getting the weather right now? Is that what's happening?
Um, you know, there was. It may have passed us by. It may come back. We don't know. It's gonna do what it's gonna do, baby. What are you typing about?
I am making sure the social medias know that we're doing this shit.
Oh, then continue.
Yeah, I'm shamelessly promoting us. That's
Do
my
it,
job.
slut. Get it.
What the hell? Are you slut shaming me again?
Shaming? No, I'm celebrating. This is a slut celebration. Do you want to come over here so I don't have to keep leaning? No.
Somebody says I would die for Boomer. Just saying.
Look, don't say that shit in public because she'll call in that shit someday.
Yeah.
Because like, if she runs out of lives to spend, she'll come for yours.
Hello, Mr. Big Benz.
Hello,
Happy Pride
hello.
to the Divas. It is Happy Pride. That's what we're going to be talking about today. But before that, we're going to get attacked by the Boomer.
She's a pretty good. Look on my shirt. All right, this is just what we're doing now.
Jonathan paused Endgame Part 2 to join this. You know what? We appreciate that. Endgame Part 2 was a really great episode to record. I hear purring. Oh, that's what I make my boys do too.
You make them purr into a microphone?
That's a great idea. Hey everybody, thank you so much for joining us. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. I'm supposed to have some kind of banner thing that should pop up when that happens, but I didn't do it. And also like the video, and especially for Boomer, because Steph,
look, she chose to join this situation. Notice I didn't. There was no coercion.
Steph is in danger right now. Like any moment, Boomer could turn and just.
She says what?
What?
She didn't sign up for the brain cell today.
No. Hey, Bright Sons Podcast. Thank you for saying hi.
Hi.
Love them.
Hi. What's up? Hi. So do we have like a thing you want to do? I don't know. I literally just like ate a half a gummy and a slice of pizza, slapped on some lipstick and showed
Oh
up,
my
so
God.
I don't know what's going on?
One of our patrons mentioned carne asada earlier, and I'm so hungry.
It was in the context of tragedy, but yes, the carne asada was mentioned.
Yeah, I mean, burnt carne. Look, I love California, and California has lots of good food, but there's some notes in the Mexican cuisine they don't hit right, and I like carne asada. When I go to a Mexican restaurant, Steph, and I ask for queso, I get the weirdest look. Like, what the hell is queso?
I think queso is a Tex-Mex thing, baby.
It is, but I'm like, it's Velveeta.
That's because in Texas, you grow up having no problem at all with just pouring processed salts and butter into your body.
So good.
That's the secret ingredient to good queso, by the way. It's not just the Rotel or the peppers or any of that. No. Stick of butter. That's what. Stick of butter, block of Velveeta. Can of Rotel. Season from there if you must.
Oh my goodness.
This is the shit.
Yeah, so Steph, after we recorded Dark Side Divas this morning, I had to jump immediately into a meeting, and my coworkers were like, "You're recording Dark Side Divas, weren't you?" And I'm like, "Whoa,
Yeah.
how? Like, what? How? Huh?" And they're like, "Oh, what are you covering? Because we're trying to keep up." And I'm like, "Keep up to what? You're not allowed to listen to my show."
Oh, that's so cute. You think you can stop them? You can't.
I can't.
You can stop your family.
No, but
We're gonna
everybody's watching. I showed some of Stephanie's TikToks
Oh.
to my coworkers. They may have been wine drunk, let's say, and they freaking loved it. And one of them figured out how to like put the TikToks up on the TV so everybody could watch at the same time, and people were just laughing their ass off and loving it. And one of them had, bless their heart, one of them had to say, "Are the Marvel and Star Wars fans really that toxic?" And I proceeded to laugh for like 10 minutes.
Not all of them. Not all of them. But definitely the ones who like to comment on my shit. So
Yeah,
I'm very triggering for a certain subset of the population.
I'm TikTok a little bit more, not as much as Steph. And wouldn't you know it, I'm starting to get all the haters on my TikTok, and Stephanie's been so nice to step in and give people shit. And it does, what she says is true. It boosts the views a lot, and I appreciate that.
Every comment they leave, the algorithm doesn't read it. The algorithm just knows that was engagement. So
All right,
it's my favorite thing to do. It's my favorite thing to do.
Are you ready to get this shit started and celebrate Pride Diva style?
Yes, I'm ready for all of that. What do you mean by ready, though? Exactly.
I mean, just being thirsty and talking shit.
You want me to do an intro, don't you?
Well, not yet. I got a video, but we're gonna do that first.
See if I remember how intros go. Go ahead.
Okay. Well,
we can do
see you on the other side. Yeah.
Okay.
Boom. See, we're all professional.
I want that Loki mouse ears hat that you have in your art. Does that exist as a real thing, and can it be mine?
It existed when the Loki show came out, and they had Loki mouse ears, but I haven't seen any in a bit. I suspect when season 2 Loki comes out, that will be a thing.
Excellent.
This is the part where you do the intro, though.
Right. Yeah, I'm totally professional. Okay. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Divas Unleashed. That is what we're calling this, right? Divas Unleashed.
Yes.
Okay. The visual media version of our podcast, both Dark Side Divas for the Star Wars and Marvelous Divas for the MCU. My name is Stephanie. I am the woman half of this show, and I don't ever have a clever intro. Let's stop expecting it of me and just be pleasantly surprised if I ever actually pull it off. Huh?
Oh,
cool.
my God, damn.
Wow. That was clever. Fuck you.
Hey, everybody. I am Chris. I am queer as hell, and that's what we're going to be celebrating today, my queerness and everybody else's, for that matter. Oh, and Stephanie, I've been wanting to clip your wings for a long time, Icarus. It's an Eternals line.
But it doesn't sound anything like boning, so it's just that's what you usually do.
Oh well, clipping wings is a term for. Never mind. You know what? We're not going to talk about that particular fetish. Hi everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. We're doing something a little bit different this episode because generally we focus on a single topic. We talk about a specific media thing like a Star Wars subject or a Marvel subject, but it's Pride Month, and we wanted to do this show last week, but you know, all the tornadoes and storms came for Stephanie, and she almost was sent to Oz.
Right.
And
I wasn't Googling clipping wings or anything like that. Sorry.
Oh, you don't want to do? No, I don't recommend. But if you go to Pornhub, you know, you'll get your anyway. But you know, it's you know, we've talked a lot about inclusivity, civil rights. It's Pride Month, and I feel that this summer is a really important month for those of us that are supportive of the LGBTQIA community to stand up and support each other and have each other's backs because if you were paying attention to the news today, the Supreme Court is coming for all of our rights.
Oh my God.
And unfortunately, there is a very important gay marriage issue on the docket that they're going to announce soon. We have a lot of states passing all the transphobic and anti-gay laws, and so we're gonna be in it for this summer, y'all. And so this is just a moment to celebrate how fucking awesome queer people are all across the world, and also talk about the finally the representation we're getting in Star Wars and Marvel.
Right. Absolutely. I'm here for it.
Steph, I have a few questions I designed. This one's a bit of a serious one. We will talk about. Don't worry, y'all. We're going to talk about the thirst in a second. But Stephanie, you've gone through it for a bit with your family, and you've been really open and talking about that in the podcast. The outpouring of support we've gotten from all of you has really touched us, and honestly, it's driven me to tears sometimes. Just how considerate and how proactive you all have been for us, and especially for Stephanie. So, Steph, key question: what does Pride mean to you, as in Pride Month?
Well, I mean, I learned more about like the history and stuff and the actual events behind Pride before it became before I felt like I was closer to actually being rainbowy, as it were, because I have spent the majority of my life as a cis het woman in relationships with men. But then, you'll do things like have kids and open your marriage and get a TikTok account. And wow, will that change fucking everything. So what Pride means, thanks for putting me on the spot with the easy question. For me this year, Pride means actually being able to help my kids celebrate it openly and safely, which is not something they've ever been able to do before because of where we lived. So that's been really great, and it also means not just helping them to celebrate it, but helping them to weather the other half of it, because we have started openly decorating our house with Pride stuff. We've gotten religious pamphlets posted on our door and things like that. And like there was one that was literally 2 pages of printer paper, front and back, typed in Comic Sans font, listing all of the Bible verses that we should study so that we could get right with God. And that was like posted on our door. And every time we get one, I add a new rainbow flag to the outside of my house. So fuck them. But going into Pride, not only prepared to help my kids and myself and my family celebrate it, but also to protect them and to show them how to handle the other side of it has also been. It's been an interesting mix of celebration and education around here, if that makes sense.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we talked a long time about that, and I couldn't be happier for you. The relief I felt when you landed in Colorado was pretty big. But it's sad that you had to do that. It's sad.
Yeah.
It's sad. You weren't the only one I knew who had to do that. Pretty much every queer person I knew in Texas, Florida, even Alabama, they fucking got the fuck out of Dodge and moved to Colorado, Washington, California, New York, and that's like fucking depressing that's where we're at. But that is where we're at.
That's where we're at. Yeah, we're red state refugees, baby.
Yeah. So we've talked about this before a lot. I used to be an extremely pretentious, uppity, asshole-ish jerk person. And don't say used to be. I'm less so. I saw your face.
Anything. I said nothing.
I read you. I see you.
No, you are so much better than you used to be. I loved you then. I love you now. But you have definitely improved on that front.
Well, I mean, the difference is I love me now too. I didn't love myself then.
There it is.
There it is.
There it is.
But back when I was younger, I was pretty radical. Like even the hint of somebody being homophobic around me, I screamed, yelled, and temper tantrumed, and was super like alienating about it. But at the same time, like I got really uppity about. Because I've been out. Well, I didn't come out of the closet. I was outed. Let's be clear about that. I never had an option to come out of the closet. But I was pretty much out of the closet since I was 14. Ever since my my teachers called my mom and informed her that I was making out with a bunch of boys on the patio at a high school. And that's not good to do. I felt resentment for folks who had the option to come out later, and I was really unfair about that, really wrong about that. And so for me, like initially, I saw Pride as just a bunch of parties that
Right.
I didn't think people were entitled to. That's the truth. Like that's how I used to feel. But I came around to it, especially in my later years. I appreciated Pride for the protest it should be, and I still do feel that the protest part of Pride gets a little lost in my community. Most of my guy friends around here are like, yeah, I'm going to this party and that party and this party. And I'm like, that's great. But what are you giving money to any nonprofits? Are you marching anywhere? Are you protesting anywhere? And that doesn't really happen right now.
Are you calling a representative? Are you contacting your congressperson? Like, no?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool story. My Congress representative, the person in the House of Representatives, he's gay as fuck. He actually stood on the floor of Congress. His name is Robert Garcia. He stood on the floor of Congress and quoted RuPaul. That there is now a whole lecture about RuPaul in the congressional records. And of course, he got jeered a bit and whatnot.
That's going in the National Archives.
That's going in the National Archives.
Amazing.
So we made progress, but now the protest is still very, very necessary. And but I do. The challenge here is that, I see a lot of my younger peers shouting a lot and condemning a lot, and I understand why. They're in pain, they get offended. The notion that somebody would deny their existence is really offensive and really hurtful. And it's really easy to lash out and I try not to do that because I've never been able to change anybody's mind lashing out. I have by listening and trying to digest and just try to have a conversation with them so they can hopefully develop some empathy. Stef showed me this this really interesting study where people are taking MDMA to learn empathy.
Yeah.
And so maybe I'll throw some of that in their drink or something like that when we're having the conversation.
It's not that they're taking it to learn empathy. It's that one of the side effects of MDMA is human empathy. Like, it does something to your brain that makes you go, oh no, because they had shown the results of the test were it was on racists, and lifelong racists were suddenly like, oh wow, they're people too. What have I done my whole life? Yeah, that's right. You keep taking your medicine.
Yeah. So
saying.
Yeah. I do. I have seen a lot of harsh opinions, and sometimes I'll say, hey, maybe try something different, and so then I get attacked a lot, and that's why for the past year or so I've been making the joke that we're not considered a queer podcast because I'm not gay enough, and there are
or I'm married to a man, so obviously
right
not a queer enough podcast.
But Steph, my next question is what is sexual orientation? Because I thirst over Black Widow. I thirst over Sice Noodles. I thirst over
creature in the galaxy.
It's true. I thirst over Garrus from Mass Effect.
Sir,
I'm not gay. I'm just queer.
Look, if you had asked me 10 years ago, 20 years ago, you would get a different answer every time. At my big age, sexual orientation, I don't even know. I don't. I get that everybody has their preference. I just don't see that any of the categories apply to me anymore.
Right. Yeah.
It's everybody is amazing and attractive unless they're a bigot, there are lots of ways that you can be disqualified, but I don't feel like I'm limited in any way. But do you want me to define sexual orientation or how it's in my life? What are you talking about?
Well, no, I think my point I'm trying to make is my orientation is a lot more fluid than just like you said, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, I would just say, you know what, I'm gay. Maybe I sometimes watch straight porn, but I'm just gay. But now, I don't define, I'm anybody hot at this point.
and hot it has so many categories and is so relative, and there's so you can be good looking all day, but there's just so many things you could do to disqualify yourself from being hot. But your gender or any expression that you may have has nothing to do with it as far as I'm concerned anymore.
Right.
Like I don't care. I don't care how, like, however you express, as long as that is honest and true to who you are, we will figure everything else out. We will just walk me through, give me an instruction manual for whatever it is that you're packing, and we will make it work. That's all. I mean, I know my way around a lot of equipment, but who knows? Everything has its own unique needs, and I would like to learn them sweatily.
Including vagina dentatas.
The bottom of her fluid sac. I'm just saying, it's not strictly men. It's not strictly women. The whole spectrum is appealing to me. So,
Amen to that. So let's get into it with our fandom. We have a long way to go with representation, not just with race and backgrounds, but also with queerdom. I was shocked to see that the Star Wars Twitter account had an article about the 8 Star Wars characters you should celebrate for Pride Month, and all of them are just like comic book characters or book characters, which there's nothing wrong with that. I'm down with Dr. Aphra. I'm down with the High Republic characters, but like,
but we don't have any on-screen canonically LGBT anything characters.
Yeah,
Except for two nice ladies at the end of Rise of Skywalker,
which got cut out in like half the world. Like you go to China, Saudi Arabia, etc., and watch Rise of Skywalker, which by the way is the greatest Star Wars movie ever made, and that scene's gone. It doesn't exist. So, and wouldn't you know it, this week or last week and a half, I guess, the day after Disney continued to roll out news about who's being cast in Acolyte, the day after they announced a trans person was going to be a character, Acolyte is suddenly canceled, and Kathleen Kennedy's going to be fired, and oh my god,
it was a go broke situation, Chris. Obviously, the show is completely gone. They're never that's it. Disney fucking what? Oh my god. Where did that even start? Like, which YouTuber decided to put that out there?
Well, you see a person named Doomcock, which I can't even fucking take seriously anymore. We talked about this on a recording of Dark Side Divas. Full transparency. I fucked a person calling himself DJ Doom. It was similar to Doomcock in the college town before I even met Stephanie. It was fine, whatever. But hearing that name now is like, that's the worst fucking name if you're going to be an anti-woke, whatever that means, person. But like this person who I assume works at a 7-Eleven within a couple 100-mile radius of Lucasfilm Studios has all the insider information. And the thing is, they've been consistently wrong for the past 7-8 years, something like that.
I mean, it's like getting all of your news from a tabloid. Okay, like, oh my god, did you guys hear that Batboy has babies? Like, I heard that Elvis abducted George Lucas. That's about the level that we're dealing with that guy. So fuck it. But what happens is you get these fans, and like I really feel like the toxic fandom, the fandom menace, and MAGA hat wearers, like that's a really tight Venn diagram.
Yeah,
that's almost entirely overlap. So there's a lot of like fake news. Like they don't want to believe anything that's said by actual StarWars.com or Star Wars Twitter or out of Kathleen Kennedy's mouth, or something that Dave Filoni will look directly at a camera and say. They don't want to believe any of that. Instead, they would rather believe what they think is the actual real news, which is YouTubers who say that they've totally got the inside scoop because they work at the 7-Eleven. They served a latte to friggin' Dave Filoni's second assistant's cousin or some shit. And suddenly they have all of the information. There are people that would rather believe that. And so they saw that thing from Doomcock and they got all over the internet and they were like, oh, it must be true. And I swear to God, it's like they're trying to manifest it. They're trying to just will it into existence that this show would get canceled. And for why? For what? Is it because there's too many not them in the show? think that might be it.
I think that might be it too. A quick note. Mr. Big Ben says, "Anybody hot? Well, my hair and beard disqualifies me." You, sir, incorrect.
Can we zoom in on his picture? Because he's cute as fuck. Hi.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm just saying, as your auntie, as your podcast auntie, you're fucking cute. Shut up.
Yeah. I have a thing where I see a traditionally hot guy. What I mean by that is like the societal standards of a guy who's supposedly hot, like the chiseled chins, the abs, all that kind of stuff.
Right.
They're always bad in bed.
Well, it's because pretty people they haven't had to try. They haven't had to develop skills, and it's not just sexually. A lot of times it's socially too.
Yeah,
they haven't had to learn to be nice.
Yeah, and I'm just kind of over it. And
that's society's fault. That's not their fault. I feel like these people are victims. They've been victimized by a society that's like, oh, you're pretty, that's enough. You don't have to do anything else. Stand there and look pretty, or be a person.
Amen.
Rounded out and stuff.
Amen. Ancient Ginger says, I've been trying to explain this approach to sexuality to my cis hetero husband and introduce poly stuff, and it's been interesting.
Oh, wow. Is that ever interesting? There's so many conversations that go into trying to introduce poly stuff. There's a lot of, here's a specific episode of Savage Love that I want you to listen to. Here's an article. Again, Dan Savage. Yeah, those conversations are long, and they need to be so honest and so thorough. It's uncomfortable, the level of communication and honesty you have to have in order to manage a polyamorous situation. It really is.
Yeah.
So good luck.
Alex says, this is almost exactly why I came out as pan this year. My spouse is pan, and I literally just realized that I enjoy sex, and it's not so much attached to what they look like or what equipment they have. Amen to that. Yeah. Amen to that.
Preach.
I agree.
Just realizing that this conversation may be me having an awakening that I might actually be able to identify as something, and that something might be more pan than not.
Hi, Steven. Look, he got me this shirt, by the way.
Oh, is that? Wait, who is that? Is Steven?
Yeah. So Doug actually brought up a thing that I would actually like to talk about next. So we're going to do Star Wars first. We're going to do Marvel second. There are a lot of queer-coded Star Wars characters that are not confirmed. Tarkin's usually one of the ones that gets brought up a lot in my circles. Now, I personally don't believe that someone is a thing unless they say, hey, I'm bi, gay, whatever. But there are some characters that are like, girl, you gotta be like something, because goddamn.
Isn't it even more heavily implied? Because I mean, Tarkin's just sort of fussy and cruel in the movie and in the shows. But isn't it somewhere? There's a book somewhere, guys, help me out, in which it's heavily implied that he's got like a special friend who is a guy. Isn't that a thing? Anybody? Eli Vanto? Who's Eli Vanto? Google that.
Google that. Yeah, because there's not that. I mean, for me, like we talked about Lando Calrissian being just everything.
All the things.
The things. Because that motherfucker cannot turn off his charisma, and it's just that dude. So we recorded an episode of Dark Side Divas this morning. We were talking about Lando Calrissian because he makes an appearance in Rebels, and I was listening to that episode on headphones, so hearing Billy D. Williams' voice in my ears was a lot, and I'm realizing I'm watching a character do some like really questionable shit that would normally piss me off and offend me and offend most of my female friends for sure, but it's Billy D. Williams. It's Lando Calrissian. And I'm just like, oh my God.
It looks like Eli Vanto is a Thrawn hookup, not a Tarkin.
Oh, Thrawn is queer-coded. For sure.
Okay. There it is.
But I think Thrawn's also a power sexual.
Can you get Alex's comment? About a certain point of view.
Oh, yeah. Was it from a certain point of view where Tarkin has an affair with a trooper? Gasp! Did he really? I've never read those books. I'm going to once I get over my
I cherry picked a couple of stories out of it, and I didn't read this one. Apparently, hold on. Ho, 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 ho. TK421 caught the attention of Grand Moff Wilf Tarkin through an accidental holo recording of himself without his helmet. This is according to Wikipedia. I think we need to read a certain point of view.
Oh my goodness.
So my question then is, how spicy does it get? How spicy does it get? Anybody know? Probably not very.
Yeah, I mean, look, Tarkin has a goddamn tower in the shape of a T. Right? which looks like a cock and balls.
Oh, that's branding for you.
Yeah, that's branding for you. So yeah, Tarkin's definitely a queer coded character for me. Unfortunately, I don't like to claim a genocidal maniac, but there it is.
But that's also an issue, because even the queer coded characters that you get are either going to be like C-3PO and be like fussy ridiculousness and totally not taken seriously, or bad guys. Like, there's no just like regular ass people or even heroes. Like there may be some, but like we have to headcanon that shit pretty hard.
Yeah, I mean, this is more of a fantasy of mine, but I always like to think of Poe and shit. Why did I just like mind blank?
Finn,
thank you. Oh my gosh, what is wrong with me?
wow.
Poe and Finn. I always like to imagine
Absolutely.
that one.
Well, and that's easy to imagine because the actors are imagining it too. They really wanted to go there. Like, I've seen interviews, especially Oscar Isaac was like, no, Poe is gay and in love with Finn. Like, what? And so if you look at their performances, because they leaned into it in their performance, like all the way up to the line that the mouse was like, stop, we don't do that. Though we support the gays, we don't do that in front of the camera. Only at the theme park. No, in front of the camera. It's conditional. Anyway, but no, as Oscar Isaac and John Boyega have both said in interviews that was how they played their characters. They played them like a gay crush and then a gay couple. And like that's where they were going with it. So that's easy. That's an easy to imagine. And it was very easy for me to imagine that big group hug that Finn and Poe had with Rey at the end of Rise of Skywalker, that inevitably led to the celebratory three-way afterwards, because that's a throuple.
Release the thruple mix, please. The thruple cut. I would love to see that.
Yes.
I love this. Doug, you actually said something I love, which is crazy. There's no way Sabine Wren is straight. Girl, all of my lesbian friends that love Rebels, Sabine is their girl.
Yeah. Because she's artistic and she's complicated and she's all this, and cute as a button. She's all of these things. Of course, she's going to be like your lesbian teenage crush. Absolutely. Sabine's amazing.
Yeah, she's probably one of my favorite characters of the Ghost crew. It's so funny being on Rebels now and just on season 1, knowing these characters are about to go through so much shit. They have no idea. But like when we get to a silly episode like the one we just covered,
Oh my God.
it's like I want to stay there. I want to
so good. Yeah.
I wanted to sit here for a moment and get more of that. But like I know it's not going to be that way. But folks just got to loosen up when they see a Star Wars that's completely ridiculous. Mandalorian season 3, which I love, by the way. I know we're going to fight about that when we get there in 5 years.
Look, I like it. I just like parts of it more than others, and I have valid criticisms.
But the episode with Lizzo and Jack
Oh my
Black
God,
and Christopher
duh.
Lloyd is my favorite fucking shit ever. Like I have rewatched that episode constantly.
Right.
Like it is my most
so
watched
good.
Star Wars
Yeah.
for right now.
Nice.
So.
Because you have excellent taste.
Hey, speaking of an evil queer-coded character, Count Dooku. Like I think Dooku is totally one of ours, unfortunately. But like he is. When I was reading Dark Disciple and listening to hearing him explain relationships with Asajj Ventress when he was taunting her and all this kind of shit, I was like, man, this man is such a bitter gay guy.
Yeah, he's mean.
He's so mean.
But he's got a lot of things that definitely would make you side eye a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think he's a practicing queer guy. Like, I think his only lover is ambition now. You know,
He's a power sexual. That's what it is. It's being addicted to the notion that you want to control everything,
nice.
and
Nice.
you get orgasms off that. Like his greatest orgasm would have been him defeating Darth Sidious.
Yes, never.
It was never happens.
But maybe
And-
he's also into the degradation. I'm just saying,
Oh,
because
my
like that's a
goodness.
long time to live in servitude to someone. So
Pedro says Sabine and Ketsu better be dating by the time of the Ahsoka series. Girl, I am so like. There's never been a show I've been anticipating more than the Ahsoka show.
remind me who's Ketsu?
I need to Google that because I'm gonna misremember and I don't want to misrepresent.
Just admit you don't know.
I don't know for sure. No. Oh. Oh my. I don't actually know her that well. I'll send you a link later, Steph.
Alright.
But she is. Did she show up in any live? Like, oh yeah, she was in Rebels, wasn't she? I'm looking. Star Wars Rebels: Blood Sisters was her first appearance.
Ooh.
That is season 2, so we're far away from meeting her. Oh, I remember her now. Oh yeah. Oh my god, that would be amazing. That would be the coolest. So, hey Colton. Oh, a lot of new people are coming in.
Hi, everybody. But yeah, no, Ahsoka's gonna be awesome. Definitely looking forward to it.
Absolutely,
Calzeb.
absolutely. Calazeb, definitely understand. Vel and Cinta and Andor. Man, that's a relationship that is gonna rip me apart.
What, Vel and Cinta? That relationship's over.
I think there's still gonna be echoes and consequences there. I mean, I like them. I like them both, but Andor is such a hard show because it triggered me, and I don't think I enjoyed a lot of it. But it's so fucking
Really?
good. No, because if I'm spending 90% of the time being horrified and crying, it's
Oh.
not an easy show for me to get through. But it's still Star Wars. I'm gonna watch it. But Andor was tough, and Vel and Senta were pivotal in that pain for me.
Well, because it's such a lopsided relationship. Like Cinta clearly is done. Like she's her lover is the rebellion.
Yeah.
She was never as like the whole vibe is that she's just not as into Vel as Vel is into her, you know? So that's like that relationship is headed for heartbreak for Vel, not for Cinta. She's
Poor
fine. She'll be fine.
I know.
But no, it's all yeah. And you know, you get to like Vel by the end, or at least I did. So
Oh, I love both. I love them, but see, the problem is I'm the Vel in any any given relationship. Like I'll meet somebody and be like, "Oh my god, I like you," and they're like, "Yeah, I gotta fight this rebellion," or I'm focused on my career, blah blah blah," and I'm just like, "Oh, okay, I'm not good enough for that."
oh, honey. Yeah, so I'm almost always the Cinta. So,
I know you are.
like, okay, that was fun.
So
I'm gonna go.
So basically, I'm the Vel of the podcast. Is what you're saying?
But yeah, Kaluzeb, right? Absolutely, absolutely, Callus and Zeb. In fact, the voice actors for Callus and Zeb have said that as far as they're concerned, Callus and Zeb are married and living happily ever after on Zeb's homeworld. They got like a farm and shit. So adopted some war orphans or whatever. I don't know, but yeah. No.
Oh,
Gay,
there
gay,
it
gay,
is.
gay, gay.
God damn it, Doug. Fuck you. No, Andor, I think is not just a good show. It's up for me. It's up there with like West Wing and The Breaking Bad, The Sopranos. It was such a well executed show, perfectly written, cinematography on point, editing was on point, the music, everything about it was perfect.
But the thing is, it's not for everybody, and
Right.
that is something that they're getting braver with the Star Wars is making stories in Star Wars that are not for the general audience. They're going to more niche stories, and that's fucking awesome. And it's because they can do that because who's gonna check them, boo?
Right.
Nobody's gonna check them.
I think Acolyte is going to be the same way. I think that show is going to be really dark. It's not going to be for everybody, and I'm looking forward to it. I think I would predict Ahsoka is going to be a little bit more accessible. There's Jedi, there's lightsabers, there's cool space shit.
I feel like Mandalorian and Ahsoka are sort of like the center pole shows, and those shows exist so that shows like Andor and Acolyte can exist. So if people are like, "Oh, Acolyte, it's too much for me. There's all these vaginas everywhere," then they can just go watch season 1 of The Mandalorian and get over it. Are you okay?
I'm fine. Vaginas. Okay, that's great. That's great. Okay, so that's Star Wars. I do want to quick shout out, like, if you're not afraid of like getting into the books and you want to experience something with queer representation, I cannot recommend High Republic enough. There's so many good characters in that book series, and they happen to be queer.
But to be clear, you will cry.
You will get your heart fucking broken in 100 different ways.
Like 10 pages, if that, like the prologue of the first book, The High Republic. Tears. So, be prepared. Yeah. If you're not in a
there's a boomer.
If you're not in a headspace to handle like tragedy, maybe Star Wars is not something you want to go watch. Bluey.
Yes, for light and life. See. Oh, and quick personal note: if you do like High Republic and like to listen to tabletop role playing podcasts, there's this cool podcast I heard about called For Light and Dice. It's really cool. Not just saying. You may know of somebody that's on there. There's a lot of really awesome, actually. To be serious for a second, there's a lot of really amazing people on that podcast that I love doing stuff with, and there's also Charles. And I really, it's a deep pleasure to do that. I am so mean to him, but he loves it. So, yeah, Colton knows. Colton, it's his fault. It's one of his faults. Okay, so Marvel, I feel, the MCU specifically, has moved a lot further ahead of the inclusion aspects of, in my opinion, of their character arsenal, let's just say. We talked a lot about a Marvelous Divas about how women are not treated very well with certain productions. Right. But in other productions, they're treated very well. My love of Agent Carter is never ending. And then with like the Eternals, for example, we have our first openly gay character, which is the person I quoted at the beginning of the show, Stephanie. And then, of course, Kevin Feige confirmed a long time ago, and it caused a lot of consternation all the way back. I looked it up since 2014, where he confirmed that Loki is indeed bisexual.
Nice.
So, like MCU wise, I feel like they're a lot further ahead. But there's so many characters. I kind of feel like with with Marvel, there's a whole different bang there because I don't know where they're going.
What I don't understand, we're gonna back it up real quick. Why would anybody be upset that Loki's bi?
Whoa.
What's upsetting about that?
You're asking the wrong person.
Like, ladies, this fictional character who's never gonna fuck you because he's fictional would still fuck you. So, and dudes, maybe now some of that ridiculous charisma will be directed away from the ladies that you're trying to get with, because he found a pretty boy to go chase after or something. Like, I don't understand being upset. He's still Loki. Like, and also, why would anybody think that the god of mischief, who, if you were to go like with Norse mythology, come on, Loki fucked everything. That 6-legged horse that Odin rides around on, I believe, is actually Loki's child.
Oh my god.
Saying I don't expect me to be super accurate on Norse mythology, but yeah, I don't understand being upset that the character is bi, except that now what it is it's straight dudes that are upset that now they're picturing Loki having gay sex. And congratulations, welcome to AO3. Like, do you want to picture it, or do you want to like read it? Do you want fan art of it? Because all of these things are available. Just saying.
Yeah, I love this quote from Alex. I want them to pull something from JK Turf Butt and publish that trashy Jetty Rome symbols in real life. That's funny.
Nice.
Also, they said my headcanon is that all Asgardians are bi-pan. Look, Asgard was a weird place. Asgardians are a very special kind of people.
Apparently the rabbits talk there.
Apparently rabbits walk around and talk there. Loki can turn into snakes and a snake and mate with people. As per the Dark World, there's a deleted scene. Apparently there was a reference to that. Yeah, I didn't know that until recently. Nice. Thank you, people who message us on Twitter and TikTok and tell me these random things. But yeah, like Asgardians are out there, and their concept of sexual orientation is way different because they're in the universe. They go into the space. They go into different realms.
Everything is different shapes. Just why does it even matter anymore? Why would you limit yourself to not only one species but one gender of that species?
Yeah,
doesn't make any sense.
So to kind of take it to a newer film that's come out a little bit more recently, Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness. Mm-hmm. You would be shocked to know, Stephanie, that half the reason why people on Rotten Tomatoes have ranked it poorly was because of America Chavez's parents.
Because she has two moms?
Yeah.
I don't understand. I don't understand being a whole functioning person in this world and getting so upset that a fictional character has fictional lesbian moms. And it's not like we're watching them make out on screen. They're not like they're just existing together on screen and both being a mom to this girl. And that is so offensive to you. You have to go and review bomb a movie before it even came out, because that's what they did. Mm-hmm. They did that before the movie even came out because they heard that might be a thing. And like, you've still got your disaster heterosexual fucking hero. So who isn't even entirely alive for the entire thing, but he fucking wins or whatever. So I fucking hate people.
Apparently in the comics, Korg is pansexual.
Sure, he's a rock. Like, what the fuck does gender even matter?
I'm like, does that mean he fucks like quartz, obsidian, granite? What does that mean? Jerry Hogarth from the Daredevil Netflix show is a lesbian.
Yeah,
I did not know that. I don't remember the show at all.
Come on, did you watch it? We see her whole. That's his lawyer.
I know, but like,
no, she was actually. I think we see more of it in Iron Fist. No.
Oh,
anyway,
yeah.
All of those movies, all of those shows kind of blend together. No, that's Carrie-Anne Moss.
Oh, I know.
So she was Iron Fist's lawyer, and yeah, she's in Daredevil as well. But yeah, she's super, and a disaster. She's a disaster lesbian. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. I don't. It's been so long since I've watched any of the Netflix shows. I don't even remember half that shit. And
it was very, very open. Yeah. Like, that was kind of core to her whole situation.
That is true. Carrie-Anne Moss, who will be in fucking Acolyte. Fucking Trinity is going to be in a goddamn Star Wars. Fuck yeah.
God. You know what? It's Trinity. Trinity was definitely like the beginning of my...
Girls are really pretty too.
Trinity, girl, when I was playing Horizon Forbidden West and she showed up and I heard her voice, I was like, my new favorite character, just like that. Like,
Pants off.
like Carrie-Anne Moss is just a fucking legend. I sat through the latest Matrix just for her.
Yeah. And that movie happened.
It happened. There were actors in it, and Keanu was in it.
They pointed cameras at stuff.
I'm sorry, it's just not my favorite. I understand my Matrix friends loved it, and they were like, "No, you just don't understand. It's different. It's a meta of a meta," and like I respect their love for it. It's not for me.
Sure, it's not for me, but thank you.
But Trinity for me in that movie was everything. I love her so much.
Trinity always. Carrie-Anne Moss always. I have never not loved her in something.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So a couple years ago, Marvel Studios did a poll that was very controversial. I don't know if you knew this stuff. It was 2018. They pulled which Marvel character is your which Marvel character should be queer or which Marvel character should be gay. I forget how it was worded, but it was essentially asking people like, which comic book characters do you think is most likely to be gay, bi, trans, etc.
Okay.
And number one, guess who the number one character was that came up as like for sure gay or
Magneto.
No.
Oh, I don't know.
Deadpool.
Oh no, Deadpool is so far beyond gay.
Yeah, yeah.
No. Deadpool is the Lando Calrissian of the MCU.
Yeah, Ryan Reynolds is quoted as saying, "Oh, Deadpool is pansexual. He'll pretty much fuck everything."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't even need to be animate. So.
Yeah, that's true.
There is that one scene with the unicorn stuffy. I'm just saying.
Pedro, do we think Korg and Geode would explore each other's bodies?
I love the explore each other's bodies thing. That's such a fucking, that turn of phrase just tickles me. The answer is yes. The answer is yes.
Can we please get some Korg Geode fanfic going now?
Fan art.
Oh my god, fan art. I can't imagine.
Korg Geode fan art. Yeah.
DP is legitimately in love with Spider-Man. Deadpool?
Oh, Deadpool,
right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Oh, they were, there was, my kids were super into Spider-Man, the cartoon for a while. I think it was Ultimate Spider-Man. Don't know. It was one of the Spider-Man cartoons. And there's one time where Deadpool shows up and is harassing Peter, like you do, and they need to go to this island where the bad guys have a compound and stuff. And Peter's like, "We need to be careful because there might be booby traps." And Deadpool's like, "You said traps." Like, sorry, just thought I'd share that. No, he is absolutely has the biggest fucking crush on Spider-Man, 100%. And who wouldn't? Who wouldn't?
Yeah. So, Doug,
Captain
Captain America is somebody. We're talking about Steve Rogers, Captain America, because there's a new Captain America. For fuck's sake, people. Look, Steve Rogers is 100% into Peggy. Like, I'm sorry, but don't get me wrong. I would love for him to be all over me. Like, do anything you want to me, Captain. But
maybe I've just read too much fan fiction.
I think you have.
But Steve and Bucky.
I mean, no, don't get me wrong.
Has that never occurred to you?
Oh no, it's occurred to me a lot.
Okay.
But like, I'm thinking about just the character in the movies, and like the motherfucker has Peggy Carter in a goddamn compass that he carries around with her.
But he is also, you mentioned Bucky. And the fact that Bucky might be alive, and he'll just short circuit. I mean, he knows this about himself. He knows that just saying Bucky is alive will short circuit his brain, and he used it in a fight. So, like, against himself. So, no, it's 100% for Bucky too. Like, it's easy. Obviously, it's a best friend situation in the MCU in canon. But some of my favorite fan fictions are a thruple Steve, Peggy, Bucky. It's good. See, Keisha gets it. Yeah. AO3, guys, it's good. There's a lot of it.
Yeah. So in general, we have a lot. We have a lot to get to more representation. I'm super hopeful about the future Marvel projects and Star Wars.
Yes, I need to stop you. Will you please highlight what fucking Doug just said in our chat?
Oh my God, Doug! God damn it, Doug!
Damn it, Doug! Yes, obviously, Doug.
I mean, look, I love Agent Carter is definitely into pegging, especially after she becomes Captain Carter in the multiverse. That's
in fact, she's been around long enough, like 40s. She may be why pegging is called pegging. Saying. Oh, I'm so proud of myself. It was a team effort, Doug. Thank you.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. That's so funny. Well, so we typically end the show with a game of Fuck, Marry, Kill, but this is just like I feel like the pride is really important, and there's plenty of fucking marrying and killing that we can do year round, and so I don't want to do that for this episode, but
okay.
just in general, Steph, like from your perspective, what are you looking forward to with both Star Wars and Marvel being just more inclusive? Like, are there any characters you're looking forward to that you're hoping that will be, you know, make things queer, or and it doesn't even just have to be just queer stuff, like other races, other cultures, etc.
I'm enjoying the evolution that they are doing. Marvel is definitely trending more multicultural, more inclusive in all ways, and Star Wars is going in that direction as well. I feel like Star Wars is more not defiant so much as ignoring the toxic elements of the fandom that are pitching fits about it. Like, they don't give a fuck. They're going to keep making their content. What I would really like to see is I'd like to see the studios being a little braver about this, and actually, instead of like, because they've only got a handful of queer characters. They do a little bit of inclusivity, and then they back off. And so particularly the mouse seems to be, they're more hesitant. I just really want them to be more out there and open and brave about being inclusive, and just fuck them if the fans pitch a fit. Fuck them if they leave. You've got piles and gobs and buckets of money. You're not going to miss their subscription. It's fine. It's fine. So yeah, I'd like to see them being a little more forthright and upfront about it. That's what I would really look forward to. Other than that, I like where we're going. I like that the cast, every time a new show gets a new cast list posted, I'm like, look at this wonderful wide variety pack of everything that's going on. Like, we've got, look at us like a slice of the population or something. Like, amazing. So I want to see more of that. I like where we're going. Let's keep going that way. Let us not backslide. Just saying.
Yeah, I'm just getting these people's comments in here. Thank you all, by the way, for hanging out with us and submitting chats. By the way, She-Hulk is just a big middle finger to.
I fucking love She-Hulk. I can't
She-Hulk,
wait.
I can't wait to. She-Hulk is gonna be a challenge to talk about, because we've said this before. How can we make something funny when it's already really
as funny as it can possibly be? Like,
you know what? I saw Pixar's Elemental last weekend, and I was shocked. It's not the best Pixar movie. That's a high bar.
Right.
But
we can't all be the first 15 minutes of Up.
Oh, goddamn. And by the way, thank fucking God. I don't need to cry all the time. But it had audacity. It was telling a story about being inclusive, and it wasn't just a rom-com as so many fucking stupid ass movie critics say it was. And y'all know I'm an acolyte of the mouse, so I'm obviously biased, but the news about there being a trans person acolyte, the Ahsoka show, which, I think I have open questions about Ahsoka herself, by the way. Yeah. And then other Marvel products they've announced. I do believe in the next 3 years we're going to get a main character, a main queer character, a main trans character, etc. in all of these different properties, because finally companies like Disney are realizing they have a multicultural, multifaceted fan base, and the people, the bigots, the haters, they're yelling very loud. They seem to constantly overtake the conversation all the time in social media, but they're not the majority. They're shrinking. They are getting smaller, and we are winning. And
which is why they're getting louder.
And that's the key message I wanted to deliver with this show, is that we are winning. But there's gonna be speed bumps. There's gonna be setbacks, and we cannot lose hope, because as General Organa has told us, hope is everything. Hope. We always have hope, and we need to focus on that. And I'm so optimistic about the future. I'm not an optimistic person. In fact, no. I'm a closet case Hot Topic goth kid. Like, really. Like, I prefer. I have dark sense of humor. I'm very nihilistic sometimes, but I am super optimistic that we're gonna overcome all this bullshit. And the summer's gonna be rough for us, but you know what? Everything's heading in the right direction. We just got to keep fighting. And so what I want everybody that's watching us right now, that's in chat, etc., don't lose hope and just keep fighting. And if you need help, you need support, look to everybody here that is part of this conversation and beyond. There are people that will be there for you. And that's all I got. That's my soapbox.
There you go. That's a good soapbox. It's a rainbow soapbox.
It's a rainbow soapbox.
I support you.
Amen to that. Every rebellion begins with hope.
Goddamn right.
So, goddamn right.
Agreed. All of this is true.
All right, Steph, that's all I got for tonight's show. We're going to be doing more Unleashed episodes in the coming weeks with guests and stuff like that. But, I just felt like it was kind of important to do this show considering, where we're heading this summer.
Right.
Today's any indication, we're going to have more bullshit coming our way. But you know what?
Oh, my God.
We're here, and we're going to keep talking shit and keep fighting.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Absolutely.
What else am I going to do? Give in to the crushing weight of existential despair?
Nah.
No, I'm going to keep fighting.
I'm going to keep talking shit.
Absolutely.
Anyway, Steph, you ready to outro?
Oh, right. We're doing that. Okay.
We're a show, remember?
Right now. Do it now.
Yeah.
Do it live. Fuck it. We'll do it live. Okay.
Do it live.
Fuck it. Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching. We appreciate that. We appreciate you. If you would like to hang out with us in between episodes of things, we're all over the social media. We are on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. For Dark Side Divas, it's at Dark Side Divas, all one word. For Marvelous Divas, it's at Marvelous_Divas. So.
My turn.
Your turn.
Y'all, you know about our YouTube channel. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to this. You can find both of our podcasts on all the podcast platforms. Subscribe, leave a review. We really appreciate that. By the way, some of y'all already know this because you're members. We have a Patreon, patreon.com/Divas Podcast. $5 a month. You get to see us do this video shit unedited for both our podcasts. And I promise you, we leave extra content at the beginning and the end with every episode. Mm-hmm. Also, we have a swag store. redbubble.com/official divas. You can go there.
You are so on top of it with the links and everything on the screen. Look at you.
redbubble.com/official divas. You can get our swag there. And I want to do a special shout out. Steph is going to fucking hate me for this, but it's whatever. If you go to Etsy.com and do a search for Goblin for Life, go to her fucking store. Steph has created some of the most awesome, coolest shit. And she just recently has the cutest pots that are painted in the trans pride colors. She's donating stuff to the Trevor Project, which is a really awesome nonprofit. I donate a lot of money to them all the time. If you don't know what that is, please look them up. Mm-hmm. But definitely go to her store and buy some shit because Stephanie is an artist. She crafts some awesome shit, and she's probably going to give me shit for praising her tomorrow morning recording. That's fine.
I'm fine. Thank you for surprising me with that. Art Goblin for Life is all one word.
So when I did a search on Etsy, it didn't come up. I had to do it separate.
It's dumb. Yeah, no, it's because Etsy's a broken machine. But anyway, that's really awesome. And the trans kitties, they're for Trevor Project. I'm awkward now. Do another thing. Say a thing that is not this.
All right, y'all. Thank you so much for joining us, and happy Pride. And let's keep fighting.
Absolutely.
All right.
Okay, bye.
Bye.